Hello, welcome, happy Saturday. Welcome to Hatha Vinyasa Flow. My name's Amy Sullivan. I am a yoga teacher. I am also a health and nutrition coach. And today we're gonna start seated in a sitting position. I thought it would be fun to focus our intention and our attention on the concept of fluidity and flexibility. And we are gonna play a little bit with mudras as we get into our flow. So a mudra is just a gesture. It can be a symbol that you make with your hands, your face, your entire body. And you can, think of this as your little keyboard that taps into your body. They can represent elements. It's really just meant to be, you hold a pose with your hands and then you bring in breath, you bring in focus, you bring in intention, and it makes the impact of what you're focusing on just a little more deeper. That's how the yogic philosophy of a mudra works. So we're gonna be playing today with what is called a varuna mudra or jala mudra, two words for the same thing. And you're basically gonna take your thumb and you're gonna connect it with your pinky finger. So the tips of the thumb and the finger are gonna meet. So that's your mudra. Here, I'll come a little closer to the camera just to make sure you get it. So here's what it looks like. So we have thumb and pinky meeting together, and they're gonna get a little pressure in there. And then your three fingers that are sticking up, they are solid, but they are not strained, okay? So they're outstretched, but if there's a little bend that feels more comfortable in your body, that's totally fine. So that is varuna or jala mudra, and we'll keep talking about it throughout class, but let's start seated. So something comfortable for you, and perhaps that means that you are sitting like I am in Sukhasana. Here, I'll pause our music. So you're sitting like I am in Sukhasana. Easy pose, cross legs. If that doesn't feel good in your body, you could sit on your heels. You could sit in a chair and bring your feet down to the earth. And then let's come in where when you found your seat, bring your hands to your legs and create your varuna, your jala mudra. So bring your thumb and your pinky finger together. The tips are pushing into each other gently. Other three fingers extended. And let those palms face upward, sitting on your thighs. Ground down through your sit bones, lift and lengthen up through your spine. Draw your chin slightly back towards your chest to lengthen through the back of your neck. And maybe you soften your gaze and maybe you close your eyes. And take a moment just to connect in, to settle into you. Feel the grounding down of your sit bones. Feel the connection point of your thumb and your pinky finger. Mudra means seal. So we're creating a little seal of energy by applying our fingers together. And just start to come into your body, come into really focusing your presence on your mat in this space. And just notice your breath. Feel in, tap in. Notice what parts of your body are already feeling a little more fluid or a little more loose. And maybe which parts of your body are feeling a little bit more tight at the moment. Not with an eye of judgment, but just an eye of the observer, just noticing. Varuna is the god of rain, so water. Water is fluid. Jala means water. So we're tapping into that water element with this mudra, with this seal. It's a seal of mental clarity. It's also the seal of communication, flowing of your communication. It's also often associated with Om. So I'm going to start our Om music here. As you breathe here, continuing to keep your breath soft and easy. Feel into that sense of Om, the balanced, perfect sound of the universe. Few more moments pausing, settling into you. Imagine water, maybe a river, maybe the ocean, maybe just rain falling down. Feel the wetness, feel the softness, the fluidity of it, the flexibility, how it wraps around rocks and moves and flows. As we move through our asanas, our poses today, can you find yourself being a little more fluid like that water? And now coming back to your breath, start to use your yogic breath, your ujjayi breath. Seal your lips together and start to draw your breath evenly in and out through your nose. Allow for a little gentle constriction in the back of your throat as you move your breath in and out. And that's going to help you bring a little bit more heat, focus, and help soften those muscles so you can create a little more flexibility as you move. So breathing in and out in your ujjayi, your yogic breath. If your eyes are closed, gently flutter them open. And from here, let's bring our wrists together. So interlace your fingers like a little sealed fist, and then you're just gonna rotate around your wrists. Just make little circles. Doesn't matter which direction, because we're gonna go both directions. We're gonna help add a little fluidity into your wrist joints, your finger joints, and go ahead and switch directions. So whatever movement you were making before, go the opposite way. One of the beautiful things about that mudra we just did, the varuna or the jala mudra, is it also helps balance water in your body. So if you have arthritis or even anything, stiff joints, things like that, dehydration, constipation, it also helps the flow of digestion. Just holding that mudra can help balance those things. Okay, and releasing your wrists from here, hands to your knees, palms facing down. And start to draw your chest forward, doing a little circle from the depths of your hips. As you come around towards the back, start to carve a C out with your belly, send your spine towards the back of the space. Use your hands to help support you. And as you come around, move your chest forward. It's a nice deep opening from the base of your spine. We're gonna move up and loosen everything along the vertebrae. Little Sufi grinds tapping into the base of your vertebrae. And whatever direction you are going, slow your roll and start to roll the other direction. Again, allowing your hands to be your guide to help make those circles nice and big. And if things are feeling a little stiff, my lower spine's feeling a little stiff this morning, go easy. Breathe into any tight spots. And align back to center, slow down, root down with your sit bones, lengthen up through your sides. Beautiful. Inhale, lift your fingertips high, stretch as you press down with your sit bones. Grow tall through your hands. Spin your pinky fingers forward. Make a little space through the backs of your shoulder blades. Inhale here. Exhale, a little side stretch over to the right. Drop your right hand down to the mat and then pull your left hand up and over. Feel that opening along your left ribs. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, head to the other side. Drop your left hand down, reach up and over with your right. And rotate your right shoulder back gently so you open up really more through the side body. You can let your neck just dangle down if that feels supportive and good. And then come back up to the center. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down to your sides or on your hands and shoulder shrugs. So as you inhale, squeeze your shoulders up by your knees, make it tense, make it tight, and then drop it down. Inhale, bring them right back up. Squeeze, 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 tighten, tighten, tighten. Exhale, release. Just drop them, let them sink. Yes. Couple more times, find a little rhythm here. When we super tense, it actually triggers our body to help release a little bit more. If you've ever been to physical therapy and they put that little machine that pulses into your muscles, that's what it's doing. Same thing we're doing here. Beautiful. And from here, just a little neck roll. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. And then gently drop your chin down towards your chest and let that line run all the way down so your chin points directly downward into your chest, and then roll over to the left ear to left shoulder. And gently bring it back around the center. One more time each side. A little bit of movement and fluidity from your tailbone to the crown of your head. And then when you're done, meet your chin to your chest in the center and draw your head up gently. And then come into cat-cow, all fours, tabletop here. So knees underneath your hips, wrists underneath your shoulders, And then spread your fingers nice and wide apart like a bright shining star. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly down. Lift your hips up. Pull your chin up and forward. Shine your heart. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, cat. Tuck your chin, tuck and round your pelvis, and then press your hands down to spread your shoulder blades wide, your spine high. And then find a little flow, a little rhythm. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Make a little wave with your spine. A nice fluid flow. Don't linger too long at the top or the bottom of this move. Just keep it moving. And you decide how fast you want your flow to be. Maybe it's quick today. Maybe it's slower. Whatever feels good in your body. We'll meet back in our neutral tabletop in 4, 3, 2, and 1. So neutral tabletop from here. Bring your toes together, friends. Move your knees a little bit wider apart. Press into your hands, shift your hips back over your heels, head into a child's pose. So drop your hips down. If your knees are a little bit tight, you can keep your hips a little higher up, and then walk your fingertips forward. Let your forehead descend down and rest on the mat. And press your palms into the earth, let your heart drop down. Let your hips fall back. Maybe they reach your ankles, maybe they're still up in the air at this moment. Breathe into your hips. Breathe into your back ribs. Big open mouth, exhale, let something go. Beautiful. From here, press into your hands and lift your head. And use your hands to pull your chest and your hips forward. So far forward that your feet lift up, your hips fall down towards the mat, and then you roll your shoulders back and move your heart forward. This is called blooming lotus. So your hips are opening through the front as you drop down. Resting on top of your thighs, root into your hands. Inhale here. And exhale, gently roll back. Draw your abs in to lift your hips back. Separate your feet. Find your tabletop one more time. Take a peek down at your fingertips and make sure your pointer finger, your index finger is either parallel to the earth or your fingers are slightly turned outward. That's gonna give you more space in your shoulders for downward facing dog. Tuck your toes underneath. Draw your abs up and in, cinch them in towards your spine. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press into your hands, press into the balls of your feet and lift your hips up. And start by pedaling out your feet here. Walk your dog, bend one knee as you straighten the other. Send a little more weight into the thumb and pointer finger side of your hand. That side of your body can take more weight. It's gonna protect your wrists. Roll your armpits towards your face. Send your heart towards your thighs. Keep your knees as bent as feels good. That's more important, finding that length through your spine than getting your heels to the mat. And then find stillness here, team. Inhale, gaze forward between your thumbs to the top of your space. Exhale, ragdoll pose. So take a few big steps. Keep your hands down on the earth. Keep your knees nice and bent. Come up to the top of your mat. Bend your knees a lot. Feet about hips width apart. Grab onto opposite elbows. And then let yourself just kind of dangle down. I like to keep my knees super bent. Grab on and sway side to side. The more you stack your chest on your knees and bend your knees, the more you release through your back versus the more you straighten your legs. That becomes more about a hamstring stretch. So feel into what your body needs and give your body that gift. And then find some stillness here. And if you're flowing back and forth, release your hands down towards the mat. Heel toe your feet together. Big toes are touching, a little space between your heels. And then press down with your feet, tuck your tailbone under and roll up to standing nice and slow. Easy does it. Beautiful. Roll your shoulders back and down. And we're back at attention. So I'm gonna turn, but you stay at the top of your mat. So palms facing forward here and zipper up your thighs. Even if you have a little space between your legs, feel your outer hips wrap in and your thighs engage. Drop your tailbone down, lift your heart up and roll your shoulders back. Nice and tall, sturdy, steady mountain pose. Gorgeous. And then from here, inhale, lift your fingertips up high, palms facing outwards as you lift, and then they'll come so they face towards each other. So we start out And then as they come up to the top, they magically face in. I'll make a little more space for you to then drop your shoulders away from your ears. Knit your abs in like a little corset to lift your heart and torso higher. Inhale here, grow taller. Exhale, open twist to the right. Draw your right hand back, left arm forward. Stretch your fingertips front to back. Send your hip points forward towards your space and ring out along your belly button, along your spine. Beautiful job, everyone. Inhale back to center. Lift your fingertips up high, mountain pose. Exhale, open twist to the left. So now your left arm comes back, right arm comes forward. Feel that ringing out along your spine. Stretch your fingers front to back. Zipper up your thighs for stability. Inhale back to center, mountain pose. From here, friends, exhale, micro back bend. So cactus your elbows out to the side. Look up. Lift your face, lift your chest up, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Strong thighs, drop your tailbone down. Inhale, come back up, stretch. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands through heart center. Bend your knees a lot, hinge from your hips and dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back here, hands to your shins or to your thighs. And feel your spine parallel to the mat. So roll your shoulders back and down and press your hands into your legs to elongate your spine. Take a nice inhale here. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank. So maybe that means that you're on your toes today. Maybe that means you come to your knees. Same action, press squarely into your hands to ignite your chest and your abs, and then roll your inner thighs upwards to create more lift. Inhale, come forward an inch. Keep your elbows pinned in as you exhale and lower all the way down to your mat. Belly to the earth. Bring your hands next to your ribs. Point your elbows up to the sky and untuck your toes in the back. Squeeze your right glute. Lift your right toes up, draw your abs in, and pull your right toes back towards the back of your space. And then drop your foot on down. Same thing, other side. Squeeze your left leg, ignite your whole thigh. Point your left toes and then lift them up and pull them to the back. Feel them move out, lengthening through your legs, and then drop them down. From here, cinch your abs in, press your hands into the earth. Inhale, come on up, low cobra. Roll your shoulders back and down. Pull the crown of your head forward. Squeeze through your back midline. Send your tailbone isometrically down towards your ankles. Maybe your hands hover. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down. We're gonna do that one more time. Inhale, rise up, low baby cobra. Roll your shoulders back and down. Squeeze through your glutes, drop your pelvis into the mat. Maybe your feet lift on this one if that feels okay in your back. Pull your feet back, the crown of your head forward as you lift. Inhale. Exhale, lower on down. Beautiful, hands underneath next to your ribs, point your elbows high. We move on from here. Inhale, upward facing dog. So use your hands to pull your heart up and forward. Press the tops of your feet into the earth to lift your thighs. Draw your chin upwards. Exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, knit your abs in. Use your abs to lift your hips up high. Little down dog here. And maybe you bend your knees again, still waking up your hamstrings. We're gonna take a little flow, like the river flows in this little sun A. So using a breath to each movement. Inhale, come to the balls of your feet, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, travel to the top of your space. Maybe you walk up there, maybe you hop up there. You can keep a bend in your knees as much as feels good. Inhale, halfway lift, pull the crown of your head forward, flatten your back. Exhale, forward fold. Let's take it breath to movement, friends. Inhale, rise up, find your mountain pose, lift your fingertips up high, drop your tailbone down, knit your abs in. Exhale, open, twist to the right. Right arm comes back, left arm forward, ring out along your spine. Inhale, back to center, mountain pose. Exhale, open, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center, mountain pose. Exhale, find that back bend. Cactus your arms out, shine your heart up. Look up. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Descend down, heart first, hinge from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank, plant your palms. Step it back, toes or knees. Inhale, come an inch forward, point your elbows back, pin them in. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck your toes, point your elbows towards the sky. Inhale, find your baby cobra, rise up, roll your shoulders back and down, squeeze along your back. Maybe your feet lift too, roll your inner thighs up. Exhale, lower all the way down. We'll move on to upward facing dog from here. Inhale, pull forward. with your heart. Look up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck and curl. Beautiful job. Reset, recenter. Take a moment to pause in this down dog. Feel into your breath. Feel the fluidity, the flexibility of your muscles as they warm up. Maybe you feel blood moving through your veins. The fluidity, the flexibility of your breath going in and out. And from here, inhale, three-leg dog. Lift your right leg high. Root into both your hands, and then flex your lifted right toes to turn your quadricep on. Square your hips off, knit your abs in. Inhale here. Exhale, scorpion pose. So bend your right knee, the lifted knee, and then rotate open. Stack your right hip over your left, and press a little more weight into your right hand to square the weight into both your hands. Paint a little circle in the sky with your knee, lubricating that hip joint. And then we'll come back to center. Inhale, three-leg dog. Rotate your toes down, square your hips off. Inhale here. Exhale, runner's lunge. Bring your right leg forward. Both hands inside your front foot, and rock forward and back for just a moment to sink and ease on into your hips and hamstrings. And then from here, drop your back knee down if that feels all right. You can untuck your toes and pull your torso forward and down so your left hip is heading down towards the mat. And then maybe if it feels okay, if you have space, your right knee heads out to the right. Only if that feels good. And then take a moment to breathe in to that entire front groin area. It's one of those spots that we tend to keep a little bit of tension. So you can use your breath as a tool to help soften, to help ease those moments, those spots. Take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, gently align your right knee back in line with your hip, with your mat. And then inhale, come on up. Low crescent moon. Here we go. So back knee still down. Before your arms come up, let's settle into the legs. So you're rooting down through the knee of your back foot, heel of your front foot. Wrap those outer hips in. Drop your tailbone down to lift your hip points. Pull your abs in, wrap them in tight, and then bring your arms up. Pinky fingers forward, palms framing your head. Inhale here. Exhale, find that micro back bend again. Cactus your arms out and look up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Open through your heart. Drop your tailbone down more. Inhale, come back up to your crescent moon. From here, friends, tuck your back toes under. Really root into the ball of your back foot, the heel of your front foot. Inhale here. Exhale, crescent pose with airplane arms. Lift your back knee up. And if that doesn't serve your body, you could go through a low lunge and press yourself up. So you're finding a bend through your front knee, straight through your back knee. Wrap those outer hips in, hinge forward slightly from your hips, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together as you press the ceiling away with your hands. Pull the crown of your head forward. Beautiful. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, find your warrior two. So windmill open and sink down into your right knee. I'm gonna turn around so you can see my face. So your right knee's bent. Align your knee over your ankle. And shift a little more weight to the heel of your front foot and then the outside edge of your back foot. So find that solid grounding and opening through your hips. Align your shoulders over your hips and stretch your fingers out. Gaze over your front fingertips. Breathe into this. All right, back to the beginning. From this pose, bring your thumb and your pinky finger together. Extend your other three fingers out. Coming back into our varuna, jala mudra. And pause here, a little bit of pressure from the thumb and the pinky meeting. And you stay here, breathe in to this pose, breathe down to ground down through your feet. Breathe up to lift up through your heart. Find that fluidity, even though we're still. Fluidity of your breath, flexibility in your mind. Can you stay and accept and go with the flow with it, right? All right, from here, friends, you might keep your hands as they are. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Rise up, stretch your right fingertips high. Commit to that bend in your front knee. Stretch through your right ribs. Inhale here. Exhale, extended side angle. Parallel your arms, hinge from your hips, pull forward with your right fingertips. Then put your right arm down, your left arm up, and twist open. Use your right hand, your lower arm, as like a lever to press into your inner thigh so you can wedge your heart open a little bit more. And maybe you still have your little mudra, your water mudra, helping you find a little bit more ease, a little more flexibility, a bit more fluidity. Beautiful. And from here, rise up, reverse triangle. So straighten through your front leg, lift your front arm up again, back arm back. You could still be in your mudra with your fingers for this pose too. Bring your back hand to your back hip and slightly bump your hip forward to parallel and align them to the earth. Inhale here. And then exhale, plant your palms, undo that mudra, spin your toes and your nose forward and step back. Option, friends, to come straight to downward facing dog, or if you want a little more heat and action, keep those elbows in, lower halfway down, low plank, and then pull forward. Inhale, upward facing dog, maybe on your knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. And I'm gonna turn around so I end up in the right position. You stay right where you are. Take one more big inhale. One more big exhale. Come back to your yogic breath, your ujjayi breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. And inhale your left leg high, 3-leg dog. Flex through your left foot, turn on your thigh. Push your heel towards the back of the space, root into your hands, draw your abs in, inhale. Exhale, scorpion pose, bend your left knee and then stack your left hip over your right. So you find a little opening through your front body and paint a circle in the sky with your left knee. Feels good to get into your hips. And come back to center, inhale, 3-leg dog. Exhale, runner's lunge. Step your left leg forward, drop your back knee down, and both hands are inside your front foot. You can rock forward and back a little bit to ease into it. Untuck your back toes when you're ready and start to drop your right hip downward towards the earth. If you have space, you can use your left hand to maybe start to press your left knee out to the left. If that feels good. These are layers of options. Nothing is required. And then breathe into this side. Idea of fluidity, of flex. Think of how water flows, how it carves out canyons, how it moves around rocks and digs down into crevices and seeps through and finds a way, finds a flow. So you breathe into that concept. Where on or off the mat can you maybe find more fluidity and flow? Maybe it's just your breath in this pose. Maybe it's somewhere in life. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, gently come back to center with your left knee, align it with your hips. And inhale, rise up to find your low crescent moon. So once again, drop your tailbone down to lift your hip points and lengthen through your torso. Squeeze your thighs toward the midline of your space. Inhale here. Exhale, find that back bend. Cactus your arms out. Lift your heart up, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Feel a little opening, a stretch perhaps through your back front thigh, your back psoas. Inhale, back up, crescent moon. This time, friends, tuck your toes. We're gonna rise up. Tuck your back toes under, inhale. Exhale, crescent pose, airplane arms. Swim your hands back, shine your heart forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Hug your outer hips in. Draw your abs up towards your spine so you can hinge forward even more. And then inhale, find your warrior two. Windmill your arms open like you're doing the backstroke and then bend down into your left knee. And pause, press into your heel of your left foot and then squeeze your outer left glute. That's gonna help rotate your thigh outward and find even more space in your hips. Spread those fingers wide. Come back to your mudra, jala mudra, varuna mudra. Pinky meets thumb. Gaze over your left fingertips. Press your thumb to your pinky finger, gently, but with intention. Just remember, mudra means seal, so we want to actually create a solid sealing off. Think of it like a little closed circuit of energy, or like how a light bulb lights up with a battery, right? It's got to be sealed. Pausing here. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Maybe keep your hands just as they are, and then lift your front arm up, bring your back arm down. Recommit to that bend in your front knee. Raise up, inhale, stretch through your left ribs, get open in here. Exhale, extended side angle. Parallel first, hinge from your hands and hinge from your hips, come forward. Drop your left arm down, shine your right fingertips up, and rotate your heart out. Moving slow to start, to really feel into the postures. And we're gonna flow this on our next round in a little more breath to movement. Build a little more heat, a little more looseness through the joints and the muscles. And root down through both your feet. Inhale, rise up, reverse your triangle. Straighten through your front leg gently. Shift a little more of the weight to the ball of your front foot now. Micro bend in your front knee. Inhale here. Exhale, high plank to low plank. Plant your palms. Spin your feet forward. And then either step back straight to downward facing dog, or if you want a little more heat builder, lower halfway down. Low plank there, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. These are just transitional moves, an opportunity to build a little more heat, totally optional. Take a big breath in here. Big open mouth, exhale, stick your tongue out, let something go. Maybe you shake your head. And then come back to that yogic breath, still building a little bit of that heat. Feel that gentle constriction in the back of your throat. And we're gonna flow from here, my friends. Inhale your right leg high, 3-leg dog. Exhale, scorpion pose, bend your right knee and stack your hips open. Press into your right hand to square your shoulders. Inhale, find your 3-leg dog. Exhale, come to a low lunge. We're gonna skip that deep runner's stretch this time. So hands frame your front foot, drop your back knee down. Inhale, crescent moon, lift up. Exhale, find your back bend. Cactus your arms out, drop your tailbone down, lift your heart high. Inhale, crescent moon, stretch your fingertips high. Wrap your outer hips in, tuck your back toes. Exhale, crescent pose, airplane arms. Lift up your back knee, shine your heart forward. Inhale, find your star pose, or warrior two, jumping ahead. Warrior two, bend into your right knee. Gaze over your right fingertips. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Maybe you find your mudra, pinky finger to thumb. Shine your heart out. Inhale, reverse triangle, straighten through your front leg. Exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Either through a vinyasa, high to low plank, upward facing dog, or skip it. Always your choice. We head right to the other side. Inhale, left leg high, 3-leg dog. Exhale, scorpion pose, open your hips. Inhale, 3-leg dog. Draw your abs in, exhale, low lunge. Drop your back knee down. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, back bend. Hug your outer hips in. Shoulder blades together. Inhale, low crescent moon. Tuck your back toes. Exhale, crescent pose, airplane arms. Inhale, find your warrior two, windmill open, bend into your left knee. Mudra. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse triangle. And then take it home, my friends. High plank to low plank, if you want it, or straight to downward facing dog. We will meet in downward facing dog. A few breaths here. Nice big inhale. Nice big exhale. Beautiful. Moving on from here, my friends. Inhale your right leg high. 3-leg dog. Exhale, find your low lunge. Step your right leg through. And this time, keep your back knee lifted. So stay in your low lunge here. Again, wrap your outer hips in. Press down with your hands for support. And then inhale, star pose. So you're gonna windmill open and come up tall. I'm gonna spin around so you can see me. Your toes are out, your heels are in. Legs are mostly straight. Drop your tailbone down, heart up, stretch. Bursting out from the middle into the beautiful, bright, shining star that you are. Inhale here. Exhale, horse pose or goddess pose. Sink your knees in line with your toes. And just drop your hips down. Keep your chest upright. Beautiful. Hands to heart center and sink into it. Let's ease into this. Find a little more flow. Send more weight to the heels of your feet and squeeze both your outer glutes. That's gonna help you move your knees a little bit more outwards. From here, we're gonna flow it just back and forth. Inhale, find your stars. Straighten through your legs, spread your fingers wide. Exhale, come back down, horse, or maybe it's a goddess, whatever you identify with today. Inhale, rise back up, same pose. Exhale, sink it low. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, down. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, rise up, star. Exhale, find your horse. We're gonna move on from here, friends. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, warrior two. So your hands are gonna come parallel. Your back leg, your left foot is gonna rotate in so your toes are about 45 degrees in. Your front leg, your right leg, thigh, shin, toes, all come forward towards the mat and then sink into that right knee. Gorgeous. Come back to that mudra. Pinky finger meets thumb. Varuna mudra. The rain, water. Find that flexibility, that fluidity. Gorgeous. From here, friends, inhale, reverse triangle. Straighten your front leg. Lift your right arm up, back arm down. We're gonna head into a little bigger stretch and a balance pose, optional always. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, triangle pose. So your legs are already there. Parallel your arms. Gaze over your right fingertips. Maybe you still have that mudra. Hinge from your hips. Pull forward with your fingertips as you press into the ball of your front foot. Exhale, bring your right arm down. And it's gonna find whatever it's gonna find, left arm up. So we just did this extended side angle with the knee bent, right? So really all we're doing is straightening through the front leg, but keep a little micro bend in that knee. And maybe you keep this mudra. Or maybe you're done with this mudra. That's okay, you can release it too. And your lower hand might come to your thigh, like mine is, for support, just resting down. Or maybe you release the mudra on your right hand and your hand comes to your shin, or it comes to a block or a chair that can help give you support. And then as you press down into both your feet, can you twist and wring out from your belly button to lift your fingertips higher? Squeeze both your glutes to open through your hips. Gorgeous. Option to stay right here. Enjoy that stretch or a little balance opportunity. Half moon pose for half moon. Gaze down at your front toes. Bend into your front knee momentarily. Start to press into your right heel and you're gonna lift up off your back foot. And maybe your right hand, your lower hand finds a support structure. So maybe that's the arm of a chair, something that won't move. I have my stuffed elephant here. And then you're really rooting down through your standing legs. So think that mountain pose, press into your foot, feel your quad lift up, your glute wrap in, and then do the same thing with your lifted leg. Flex through your foot, squeeze your outer glute, quad lifts off your kneecap, and then left fingertips high. Maybe you come back to that mudra. Draw your abs in towards your spine, strong core. Take one more deep inhale here. Exhale, gently step it back, find your triangle. Inhale. Reverse your triangle. Exhale, find your way to downward facing dog. Maybe you take that chaturanga, that vinyasa. Maybe you step it straight back. So that's stepping it straight back. Here's vinyasa. Lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Gorgeous. 2 breaths here, reset, recenter. I'll spin round and we'll do the other side. Inhale your left leg high, 3-leg dog. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left leg through. Keep your back knee lifted this time. And from here, inhale, find your star pose. Once again, windmill open, toes out, heels in, bursting open. Drop your tailbone down so your heart lifts up even higher. Take one more inhale. Exhale, horse pose or goddess pose. Sink your hips down. Bring your hands to your thighs this time. We're gonna head into a little twist and a stretch. So press your hands into your thighs, send the crown of your head forward and your booty back. Here's what it looks like from the side. So I'm kind of sinking with intention my booty back. All right, inhale here. Exhale, gentle twist to the right. Press your left hand into your thigh and feel that stretching through your left side, wringing out along your spine. Come back to center, friends, inhale. Still low to the ground because we're gonna head to the other direction. Exhale, twist to your left. Opening, bend your elbows as serves you press into your right thigh. Come back to center, inhale. Exhale, twist to the right one more time. Use your hands to help take some of the tension, that weight out of your legs, out of your muscles. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist. Shift more of your weight into your heels. Inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, drop into your horse, tailbone down, heart up. Inhale, find your star. Find your warrior two. Exhale, spin your back foot forward 45 degrees. Whole front leg, face toes towards the front of your space, and then bend into your knee. Feel your warrior two, strong and steady like a warrior. A little more weight into the outer knife edge of your back foot. A little more effort into the heel of your front foot. Turn on those glutes and hamstrings. Find your mudra, pinky meets thumb. Gaze over your left fingertips. Inhale, reverse triangle. Straighten through your front leg. Press a little more weight into the ball of your front foot now and move your back hip forward. Coming into regular triangle, inhale, exhale, triangle pose. Parallel your arms first, hinge from your hips, pull forward. And then when you can go forward no more, left arm down, right arm up. Maybe you keep your mudra. Maybe it no longer serves you, or you at least release it from the lower hand so you can find a little more stability. Your hand perhaps to your shin or your thigh, or a block. It could come on the front or the back. So root down through the ball of your front foot, outer knife edge of your back foot first. Squeeze your both of your outer glutes to open your hips. Draw your abs in and then finally twist outward. Stay right here if that feels good, or come into your balance on the other side, your half moon. Look down first. Maybe your top hand comes to your hip for stability. Bend into your left knee, your front knee. Move your hand or your block forward about a foot, and then rise on up. And so here I've got a prop this time that's not an elephant, it's a block, but maybe your hand comes to a wall. Something that's gonna keep you stable. If it doesn't feel stable and steady, that's not working. So find stability. Help yourself come back to a place where you feel supported, and then you still challenge, sure, but safe, so that you can come back to your breath. And maybe there's no prop. Maybe your lower arm just dangles and you pull your abs in tighter to support your leg dangling. Inhale, exhale, triangle pose, step back. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, take it home to downward facing dog. However you want to get there, point everything forward, step your left leg back. Maybe you just step straight back. Maybe you come through your last vinyasa. If you want it, take a big breath in downward facing dog. Inhale, stick your tongue out, let something go. Exhale. Beautiful job. Gently come down to your hands and knees, back to that tabletop that we went to in the beginning, and then we'll come up onto just our knees. We're gonna do a little heart opener here, friends. So I like to keep my toes untucked for this, but you can also tuck your toes. For me, that's a little more intense in my knees pressing into the mat, so I like to untuck them, so you do what feels good for you. If your toes are tucked, you do get a little toe stretch, but we're gonna open through our heart. So a little more pressure is gonna hit your knees as you go into that pose, so just be mindful. And then from here, knees are about hips width, and see how we're aiming towards a right angle from my hip to my knee to my ankle. And your ankles are in line width-wise with your knees, width-wise with your hips, all right? That's your foundation right here. Then bring your hands to your back pockets of your jeans here, point your fingers down. And then if you're like me and you just rounded your shoulders, roll your shoulders back, find a strong posture. Wrap your abs inward towards your spine, and then start to press down towards the earth with your shins. Press forward with your hips by moving your hands into your booty, and then squeeze your squeeze your arms together, or your shoulders, that's the word I want. Squeeze your shoulder blades together to lift your heart, and pull your face upwards, just like those little back bends we were doing. We just changed up our arms. You're still getting a nice little heart opener here. This is camel pose, Ustrasana. And keep pushing forward. If you find any sensation that's unpleasant in your lower spine, ease out of this a little bit. Don't make it as dramatic. If you're finding this easy, easy peasy, you want more, perhaps you work towards bringing your hands down to meet your heels and then reconnect with that opening of your heart by squeezing, kissing your shoulder blades together in the back, lift through your heart, face your throat. Only if that feels good. And then when you're ready to come out of it, hug your abs in more. Press your hands into your glutes and gently pull your abs back in line. Beautiful job. Big, big heart opener from here. So from here, friends, bring your knees and toes a little closer together, coming into a modified child's pose. So sink your hips back before our knees were wide. And then, if it feels all right, rest your torso on your thighs, walk your hands forward. Perhaps your forehead comes down. And you can keep playing around with this. You can keep inching your fingers forward as you pull your hips back over your heels. And maybe they don't go down that low. Maybe your hips stay lifted, and that's okay too. And you can keep your hands forward. You could also experiment with moving your hands back towards your feet. So you really just round down. This is called embryo pose. This just enhances the roundness of your upper back, your lower back, after we just did that big heart opener. But let it feel good so you can vary it to anything that suits your body today. Take a nice big inhale into your back body, your back ribs. And an exhale. Open mouth, let it go. Let your hands come underneath your shoulders, spread your fingers wide, and press yourself up to a seat, and then spin around onto your glutes. Find an even distribution of your sit bones. Bring the soles of your feet together here, friends. Knees up and out. It's a little butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. So the soles of your feet are together. Your body is going to tell you what feels good today. So listen, ground down through your sit bones. The closer you bring your heels towards your groin, the tighter this pose is, right? So it might serve you a little more to bring your feet away from your groin and make a little more space so that you can ground down with your sit bones and lengthen through your spine. And it's okay if your knees hit the ground or if they're up in the sky. It feels good in your body is where your knees are today. And then maybe you take your hands to the insides of your feet. Press down with your sit bones, lengthen through your spine. Inhale. Exhale, hinge from your hips and pull a little bit forward. Use your hands on your feet to pull your chest forward and down. And maybe you only move an inch, a millimeter. Find that edge, that place where it feels like a nice juicy stretch, but not too intense, no pain. And then start to just settle in and breathe in here. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, gently press your hands down into your feet to help lift your torso back up to center. Hands to the outsides of your thighs. Use your hands to close your knees like you're shutting a book. And then bring your feet out wide. And once again, your body's gonna tell you how wide your legs wanna go today. First, make sure you're evenly distributing your weight on both sit bones, side to side. And then ground down, grow tall, inhale. Raise up with your arms, stretch. As you exhale, twist to your right from your belly. You're still lifting your arms up. Feel that ringing out right along your belly button. Inhale here. Exhale, reach forward as you hinge from your hips over your right foot. And then when you can go no further forward, that's when your arms will come down and they'll find whatever they find. And if it serves you better to have a bend in your right knee today, go for it. So we're getting a little twist as well as a stretch through the back of your leg. And you can keep using your breath to sink a little bit lower, to wring out and twist a little deeper. If you have space, perhaps your left hand is on the outside of your shin or the outside of your right foot, and then you use it to pull and help twist you a little deeper. Your right hand might be on the mat, so I've got my right hand outside my leg, and I'm using my hand on my foot and my right hand on the mat to wring out my spine. And then I can pull down and release a little more. And there's what it looks like, and there's what happens and works for your body today. So that might be that you're more bent, and this is a more gentle twist. All right, Take one more inhale here. Big exhale, sigh it out. Use your hands to gently help press your torso back up to center, unwind, wring out, and reset. Maybe you wiggle in your sit bones just a little bit. Make sure you're evenly distributing your weight once again. Inhale, rise up. Stretch your fingertips. Exhale, twist. Stay long through your torso. Towards the left this time, flex your feet. Exhale, hinge. And come forward like I'm pulling on your hands to lengthen your spine. Before you descend down, you will eventually round your spine a bit, but first you're creating length through both sides of your torso, through your back, so you have more space to come back down. And then same thing, find hand positions that feel good. Find a leg position that feels good. If you bend your knee more and that serves you better, go for it. If you want to put a pillow underneath your left knee to help support it, that might feel good too. And then breathe into any areas that are still feeling a little tight. Dust those cobwebs off. Let it flow a little bit more seamlessly. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, release just a little bit more. Use your hands to bring yourself back to center. Walk your hands up, moving to the center, shake those legs out a little bit, recenter your feet. Bring your feet towards each other, towards the center. I'm just gonna turn so you can see my legs. So bringing them together, once again, it may work for you to have straight legs like this. It may not, it doesn't matter. You can still get the same stretch. You might put a bend in your knees. You might roll your mat up or find a pillow off your couch and sit the edge of your sit bones on there. All these things are gonna help propel you forward a little bit more with a little more ease. So you find what's gonna work for your body today. Root down evenly through your sit bones. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward fold down the center this time. And same concept, pull forward to find length. Then hands meet the part of your body that serves you today. So maybe your thighs, maybe your shins, maybe your toes. You can keep a bend in your knees. And then take a nice big inhale. And a nice big exhale. Let something else release down. Use your hands to walk up your body so your torso is upright. If you're sitting on a cushion like I am, gently move it out of the way. I'm ready to come lying down onto our back. So bring your hands behind your bum, feet flat on the mat, knees bent, and then move your hips forward by pressing into your hands. Hands to your knees, escort yourself down so that you're lying down on your back. Roll vertebrae by vertebrae. Feels nice and good. Scoop your tailbone under, find a nice neutral spine. If you got a big gap here in your lower spine, give your tailbone a little tilt to help feel, it should feel, again, like it's releasing and feeling good. From here, bring your right ankle over your left knee, figure four, and then you can use your right hand to send that knee away. We're looking for a stretch along the outside of your right thigh, and maybe you find it and you love where you're at right here with your left foot on the earth. Maybe you want a little bit deeper stretch, and so you grab onto the back of your left thigh and pull both knees towards your face. You can rock side to side if that feels good. If you're finding any sensation in your right knee, don't go as deep. You can also flex your right foot to help support your knee ligaments, your knee joint. If you're still using your yogic breath, your ujjayi, I invite you to release it now. Shift the flow of your breath to longer, slower, deeper inhales and exhales. Take one more breath in here. And then as you exhale, gently release. We'll do the other side. Move your right foot down to the earth, bend your knee, cross your left ankle over your right. And you can use your left hand again to send your knee away from your face. And if that feels like a good juicy stretch, you stay right here. If you want more, grab onto the back of your right thigh, pull your knees to your face, rock side to side. Isometrically with your mind, feel the sensation of what it feels like when you Send your tailbone gently back down as you pull your knees, and that's going to deepen your stretch even more, only if that serves you. And then gently come back to stillness, come back to center. Release your right foot down to the earth, uncross your legs. And from here, keeping both knees a little bit more bent, send your hips just gently to the left. Drop your knees down towards the right. A little supine twist. And then let your left hand come out like the letter T. Maybe make a T with your arms or cactus your arms out, whatever feels good. And then perhaps you gaze back over your left fingertips or back over to the left to complete the wringing out of your spine. Prioritize your left shoulder being on the mat over both knees being down on the mat. This will help keep things neutral. Take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, gently come back to center. Pull your abs in for a little support as you bring your knees back up. And now you're gonna take your hands maybe to your hips and you're gonna scoot your hips a little bit more to the right of center on your mat. So you have space to drop your knees to the left. Find that little twist. And then maybe you extend your arms out like a T or a cactus arms. If you have a wall you're butting up against like I do, cactus arms work great. And you can gaze over your right fingertips. Maybe it serves you to close your eyes here and continue to soften and ease down towards rest. One more inhale here. And then as you exhale, gently come back to center. Square your hips. Pull your knees into your chest. Bring your nose to your knees. Give yourself a nice little hug and a squeeze. Thank yourself for dedicating an entire hour to you, being with your breath and your body and your movement, because you are always, always worth it. Take one more inhale and squeeze everything. Your fingers, your toes, your ears, your eyes, your nose. Exhale, resting pose, Shavasana, release. If it feels okay in your lower spine, let your legs come out long. If you have a little sensitivity in your lower spine, you could stay in constructive rest with your feet on the mat, knees bent. And then I invite you, friends, one more time to find that mudra. Pinky finger and thumb come together and let your palms rest facing up, hands down on the earth. Let your shoulders melt down. And enjoy a few moments of rest. Again, you are welcome to stay in your Shavasana as long as you want. We'll close this in a few minutes. Enjoy your Shavasana. And once again, friends, you're more than welcome to stay, resting, enjoying this moment. If you're ready to move on to the next part of your day, start to draw in a slightly deeper breath. Bring your awareness back to the space. And start to bring in any supportive, gentle movements. Wiggle your fingers, your toes. Perhaps you move your head just gently side to side. A reintroduction into awakeness and your physical being. And then letting that go, gently stretch your hands above your head. A nice big good morning stretch into incredible, flexible, fluid you. And then gently letting that go, Make your way to a comfortable seat. Perhaps you roll to your side of choice for a moment, a breath or two, and rest your head in your hand. Maybe you press yourself up to a comfortable seat from there. Option to keep your eyes closed if that feels good. And bring your hands back to that mudra one more time. Pinky and thumb meet. Varuna or jala mudra, connecting you to balance your water, balance the fluidity of your breath, your movement, your internal systems, and perhaps your mind. I invite you as you head off your mat today to look for those opportunities to be like the water. Where can you go with the flow a little bit more? Where does it serve you to do that? And just notice how that shifts your day. And from here, friends, bring your hands, palms together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. The balancing of our sides. It's always my goal to leave you a little better than I found you. I hope that happened for you today. The teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you, and I hope you have a fantastically wonderful rest of your day. Bring your thumbs to third eye center, between your eyebrows. Look up, even though your eyes are closed. Inhale here. Exhale, bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so much.